Hello again today. It is August 13th, 2025, 4:30 in the afternoon. How are you? Hope things are going well. Um, Doing okay over here. Not too bad of a day. Looks like it's about to rain over here in New York. Anyway, today's subject is a continuation of yesterday's. This is page 5, um, continued. Okay, part 2 of page 5, continued. And the subject is abuse and bullying, my story and yours. Okay, today I will be talking about children. Very, very critical. And a lot of things going on out there in the world more than ever. Um, the bullying that goes on in this day and age is very different than it was years ago. I mean, the things that are happening out there, I mean, it was bad, but things are really bad today with technological aids of cyberbullying. And I'm new online, really, with all this internet, and I had dealt with a little bit of it myself. So, yeah, and everything else that's going on out there, which we will get into eventually. I have a lot to say. But as of today, the focus is going to be on bullying and children. Please listen. Hope mom and dads listen, and the children themselves. And I just hope that I can be inspirational and enlightening to you. But anyway, I'd like to start off by saying, unfortunately, in this world, which I know from personal experience and I relate to, if there's any kids listening out there that want to relate and want to get back to me, of course, through mom and dad's authorization first, I'd be glad to listen to you. Having a little trouble with my messaging right now on here, but give me time. I'm getting it all straightened out. But anyway, a child, I mean, typically, whether it was 1950 or today things are different, but one thing hasn't changed. I know, because I grew up in the 60s and 70s. For the most part, a child doesn't have a choice. They have no voice, really no outlets, because everybody sees them as kids. And people just don't take them seriously. For the most part, I know I lived it, if anybody else out there lived it. I mean, they have to do what they are told to do, which I will get into is right in one way, but they have to be heard in another way, you know, and I will get into that. So it's not just what's best for mom and dad or best for society, but for a well-balanced child, it also has to be what is best for them. And they know, we just have to listen. But unfortunately, in reality, a child doesn't have a voice or a choice. They have to do what they're told to do. And that's it. They have to go to school. And I knew before I even went in those school doors every day, a long time ago, in the morning, what another day held for me. Oh man, I tell you. My stomach was sick every morning. And this continued for years and years and years and years. And I had trouble sleeping at night, just knowing another day in darkness and complete silence was on the horizon, and nobody was listening to there was so much going on. I was in pain. But day after day after day. I had to live. You know what that does to a person? You have no voice. And you're in darkness and silence, and that's what was on the horizon for me, and I'm sure most of you out there. For me and so many others, going to school was a very different learning experience. It wasn't so much a positive experience, but such a negative one, day after day. It was about so much more than socializing, reading, writing. It was about learning how to survive a vicious cycle that you could not avoid. You had to get up and you had to go. And for me, as I'm sure many others, the biggest problem was that not what I went through when I went in those school doors, or how I was feeling before I even went in. It's that when I went into the doors of home, I went in my room and kept it all to myself because I was so disconnected from everybody and my family. They never knew what was going on with me. Nobody had a clue. So I dealt with the pain in school and just went home with it. I'm a big music enthusiast. Just dealt with my coping mechanism was my music, my writing. That's the way I got through it until the next day. But anyway, what happened to me was that, sports and gym, which are typical gender stereotypes for men, were my total kryptonite. And the kids waited for the circus clown to arrive, which was me. I just was not into it. And my thing was always, I had the verbal skills, as you can see here. But I was forced to do something that God didn't tell me to do. And because of that, there was something wrong with me. There was nothing wrong with me. It's just, especially back in those days, everything was black and white. The gender stereotypes, boy did this, men did that. We're a little more educated nowadays. And oh yes, I'm sure many of you can relate. The laughter wasn't with me, it was at me. My struggle, not my strength, I have many strengths, but what I struggled with was what I had to deal with. And I was not the greatest with coordination, equilibrium, and I learned now what I had wasn't as bad as what I was labeled with. Yes, I know. Unfortunately, my life, as many, was completely focused on my weaknesses, and until later in life, I never realized that I had strengths. And I did. I had gifts and I had strength, but I was living in a world where people were preying on what God didn't give me. We all have strengths and weaknesses, so there was something wrong with me, as I'm sure many of you can relate to. We all have strengths and weaknesses, but a lot of it has to do with gender stereotypes too, which I'll get into when you're in school. Boys in sports, especially in the time I grew up and everything was black and white, so, oh, it was bad. I mean, literally, I look back on it now and, wow, I mean, literally, I wasn't meant to swing a bat, or that wasn't me, okay? And no, I could barely swing a bat or throw a ball. And I'm sure many of you can relate. And being in that position with other boys, as I said, it's a gender stereotype. If you can't play sports, forget it. You are blackballed, stereotyped, outcast, and labeled. And that I was. I was forced to do something I was never intended to do and truly did not have to. And today I would have fought back and said, hey, look, I know what I'm good at and what I should be doing, what I'm doing here right now. Basically, I write and a lot of other little things. I'm all verbal. I would have just walked away. If they would have kicked me out of school, I would have walked away from it. But I was a kid and I didn't know any better. So, but anyway, yes, I was labeled. Oh, God, I was labeled. That I was. And forget it. Slow everything. Oh, man. Yeah. Forced to do something I was never intended to do and truly did not have to. But you had to follow the rules and conform when you don't know any better because you're a kid. Instead of being the unique individual I was and doing what was best for me, instead of focusing on my strengths, which I learned so late in life that I did have, I was the guinea pig of society, as I'm sure many of you can relate to. Yes, I did everything that I was forced to do instead of doing what was right for me. And this is a big thing for me. Conforming, doing what's best for everybody else while your life is being destroyed. I mean, it's horrific. Instead of, I know now. If I wish I knew then what I knew now, I would have walked out of school if I was forced to do things that I know God never intended. Or, on the other hand, if people were more encouraging and more empathetic, they would have said, "Hey, look, so what? You're not that great. You know what we'll do? What we'll do is we'll work with you and help you out, basically." And that would have made the difference. But what it did was turn me against sports. It did. It turned me against sports. It made me hate sports for the rest of my life and fear them. So, yes, instead of doing what was best for me, as I stated, I gave into a society that told me what I should do, and I was completely lost. This is where I had no identity, no nothing. I mean, I was just doing something because I had to do it, not because my heart was in it, which I'm sure many of you can relate to, that I knew I wasn't good at. Oh, man, oh, man. Yes, from that point on, I was so lost. If I wasn't being bullied or labeled slow, stupid, whatever else, I was, years and years of this, I was so severely traumatized. And up to this day, that never goes away. I mean, that's internal scars that nobody sees. And up to this day, I am still searching for my identity. Literally, I am still searching for my identity. Another week, I'll be 59 years old. But anyway, I'm going to let this second part go with that. There's a lot to this. I'm sure that many of you out there can relate to it. Okay? And have a wonderful day. And I will talk to you soon. Again. Thank you.